Good evening. I want to invite you to go ahead and open up to the book of Deuteronomy. Allow me to express my appreciation for you being here. I truly believe that there's no better place to be anywhere than together with God's people. This is, of course, you're aware of Deuteronomy. This is the recounting. A new generation has died off in the wilderness. And this is Moses recounting the laws, recounting the trip, and recounting everything that has happened so far. A very important piece of information as these children, as they were, have now grown up to become adults, and how these adults, young adults, have grown up to be mature adults. And a whole new generation has come as they've wandered in the wilderness for their sins and their rebellion in spying out the land of Canaan. But we near the end of the book of Deuteronomy, and we arrive at, metaphorically, the banks of the Jordan River. Now, if you put yourself here, just on the other side of the Jordan River stands the Promised Land. That is what we have been waiting for. Ever since Abraham was over there, and ever since he raised his family over there, and Isaac raised his family over there, and Jacob raised his family over there, and ever since Jacob had to leave because of a famine. This is the moment that we've been waiting for. So here's 2 million people standing on the banks of the Jordan River. And it has been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and now the moment has finally come. There is one last piece in this puzzle that has to take place before we can cross the Jordan River, before we can get there. Moses has to die. It's the last thing that has to happen before we can enter the Promised Land. But before Moses dies, there's a couple of tasks that God tells him to do, and both of them more or less simultaneously. The first one is that, hey, go get Joshua and bring him up here to the tent of meeting, and I'm going to talk to the both of you. He's got to commission Joshua. In front of all the nation of Israel, he's got to give Joshua this authority that he has been leading with. And the second one, that's where we turn our attention, is at that tent of meeting with God, Joshua, and Moses. God tells Moses, write this down. I'm going to teach you a song, and I need you to teach the Israelites. It's the Song of Moses as we know it. And it's found in its entirety in Deuteronomy, beginning in chapter 32. And as you arrive at the end of this song that the Israelites are supposed to know and pass down from generation to generation, you have these words that are recorded. That very day, the Lord spoke to Moses, go up to this mountain, and there you're going to die. It's bittersweet, isn't it? The Song of Moses is like his final work. Obviously, it's given in its instruction by God that this is a quintessential piece, this song, a quintessential piece to entering the promised land, to leaving, if you will, the slavery of the wilderness and the slavery of the Egyptians and bringing all of this into fruition, the promise all the way back to Genesis chapter 12. It's finally here. But this song is such an important piece to that puzzle. So I want to explore, and I love this song. I don't want to spend time exploring this song, but I do want to spend some time in analyzing and thinking about why. What was the purpose? What's the reason for this song that God gave Moses to write down and to teach the nation of Israel? Well, let's begin. Let's begin reading in verse 16. And the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, you are about to lie down with your fathers. Then this people will rise and whore after the foreign gods among them in the land that they are entering. And they will forsake me and break my covenant that I made with them. Then my anger will be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them and hide my face from them, and they will be devoured. And many evils and troubles will come upon them, so that they will say in that day, have not these evils come upon us? Because our God is not among us, and I will surely hide my face in that day, because of all the evil that they have done, because they have turned to other gods. Therefore, in verse 19, now therefore, write down this song. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to transpire, and we'll look into it in just a few moments. But this is the steps that are happening. In verses 16 through 18, this is what's going to happen. Moses, you're going to die. These people, that's step one. Moses, you're going to die. Step two, these people are going to forsake me. Step three, that's going to make me real angry. And in return, I'm going to forsake them. And then the evil comes. And when that evil comes, a light bulb's going to go off. They will recognize, where is God? We must have forsaken God. Hence the Song of Moses. The Song of Moses was written and given in a way for the people to remember it. It will live on unforgotten. So we continue here real quick in verses 19, 20, and 21. Read those with me. Here's the song. Now, therefore, write this song and teach it to the people of Israel. Put it in their mouths, that this song may be a witness for me against the people of Israel. For when I have brought them into the land flowing with milk and honey, which I swore to give to their fathers, and they have eaten and are full and grown fat, and have turned, and they will turn to other gods and serve them and despise me and break my covenant. And when many evils and troubles have come upon them, this song will confront them as a witness, for it will live unforgotten in the mouths of their offspring. For I know that they are inclined to do what they are inclined to do even today, before I've brought them into the land that I swore to give. This song, we're going to begin at the end and we're going to work our way back. This song in verse 21, it will live on unforgotten. It will live on unforgotten. This is one of our favorite things. It's a game we play with our kids. Didn't I tell you, this is how this conversation goes. Didn't I tell you to pick up your toys? I forgot. Didn't I tell you not to do that? I forgot. I told you 30 seconds ago. There is no way that you forgot. But we are forgetful people, aren't we? Sometimes we just plain old forget. But there's something about a song that's hard to forget, isn't it? Let me test your memory, all right? Some of you, this may make sense, and some of you, this might not make any sense whatsoever. Let me test your memory with the song. Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. Poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed. The rest of you, what movie show is that? The Beverly Hillbillies. All from 5 words. All right? Just sit right there and you hear a tale of a faithful trip. What is that? Gilligan's Island. 7 words. The song, and maybe your mind goes, Bob Deaver acting a fool on TV. Isn't there something about a song that brings back memories? I was listening to a station. I don't listen to the radio very often, but I was listening to a station and a song came on that I hadn't heard literally in over a decade. And guess I just started picking up and singing just like I was listening to it yesterday. There's something about a song that allows it to live on unforgotten. So he in verse 21, he says, this song, it's going to do that. Gilligan's Island, I believe, 3 seasons. It wasn't on the air very long. But we know it, right? We know the Beverly Hillbillies, right? We know about Granny. And it all tells a story. In that song, this song of Moses, it does basically the same thing. You remember. In verse 21, this song, it will live on unforgotten. People come, people pass away, people go. But the songs, they live on, don't they? You look at verse 21, another thing that's going on here is that this song, ironic as it is, this song, he says, it will confront them. This song is going to be a song of confrontation. So as you read through the Song of Moses, first of all, what it's going to do is it's going to remind them. Second of all, it's going to confront them. Now, we know what a confrontation is. You're standing in the wrong, and I have to address your error. The Song of Moses is just that. It's a song that addresses your error. One of the most famous confrontations is recorded for us in Galatians chapter 2. I'm just going to read verse 11 just to remind you what we're thinking about here. When Cephas came to Antioch, I opposed him to his face. Why? What was this confrontation between Paul and Peter all about? Because he stood condemned. He was in the wrong. So this confrontation had to take place in order to correct the error. This song is sung, the Song of Moses is sung to correct error. Now, of course, we know the rest of that as it continues. Paul describes that Peter was leading Christians astray to disassociate from the Gentiles just because some Jews walked in. The Song of Moses is a song of remembrance. It's also a song of confrontation. Look at verse 20 as we, again, kind of work our way backwards here. For when I have brought them into the land flowing with milk and honey, which I swore to give to their fathers, and they have eaten and are full and grown fat, they will turn to other gods and serve them and despise me and break my covenant. They're going to turn from me and serve other gods. That's what's going to happen as they come into this land. They're going to serve other gods. That's not okay. He gives us a couple of reasons as to why they're going to serve other gods, but he boils it down to they are going to despise me. Now, you think about this. Here's a new generation that has been raised up, and they've heard about all the things that God has done. Maybe even some of them, obviously, some of them have seen the things that God has done. Moses saw it. Joshua saw it. Caleb saw it. Maybe some of the others saw firsthand the Red Sea, the manna, the wilderness, or I guess they saw the manna, the water from the rock. They saw the clouds on the mountain. Say all these wonderful things. But when they enter the land, they will turn from me. They will serve other gods, and in effect, they will despise me. How could you despise a God who has done such incredible things? A God who has taken such good care of you. Two reasons here. This happens when we think that we have arrived. Here it is. 1,000 years, we're finally here. We have arrived. When you think that everything is over just because you park your keister in the place that God promised to your great granddaddy, you think it's all over. And now all we have to do is sit back and relax and have fun. When you think that you have arrived spiritually, whatever the case, that whatever age that is, and you think that you get to sit back and park your keister in the pew and think, you know what? I've done my due diligence. There's no retirement, is there, from being a Christian? There's no point in life where we can sit back and we can say, well, it's over. Until it's over. It's not over. But when we think that we have arrived, we begin to despise God. We begin to turn and to serve other gods. That's not okay. The second thing that's described here in verse 20 that leads us to serving other gods, turning our back on God, despising Him, is when we grow fat and full. Right? Now, we're not talking about weight necessarily. But when we grow fat and full, we have no need for God. That's what it says right here. When I bring them into the land flowing with milk and honey, after all, it's flowing with honey, which I swore to their fathers, and they have eaten and are full and fat, they will turn to other gods. What does that describe? That type of mentality where you you think that you have arrived and now you're full and fat and happy as a lark. Complacency, apathy, and I think more subtly and dangerously, independence. I don't need God anymore for manna. I don't need God anymore for water. I don't need God to show me where to go anymore. We're here. I don't need God anymore. We grow fat and full when we begin to depend on ourselves and when we get complacent in life. When we stop, if you will, hungering and thirsting for God, and we become full on the things of the world. That's the moment in our lives when we begin to despise God and turn and serve other gods. It's going to be a song of remembrance and confrontation when they turn and serve other gods. But look at where we started there in verse 19. It's going to stand as a witness. This is the first thing that God tells them. It will stand as a witness against them. Now, therefore, write this song and teach it to the people of Israel. Put it in their mouths that this song may be a witness. Look at the wording and the phraseology here. That this song may be a witness for me, God says, against the people of Israel. So this is, if we can paint a picture here, we're in the courtroom and God is on the stand. And as God is on the stand, he's calling a witness to himself, and he calls the Song of Moses as his primary witness. And this witness tells the truth unbiasedly about the nation of Israel. This song stands accusing the nation of Israel, pointing the finger across the courtroom. You did it. So God is putting this Song of Moses into the mouth, the heart, and the mind of Moses so that it can be a witness against the people of Israel. It's going to stand as a couple of things. It's going to stand as a prediction. The people of Israel are going to know that this is what God said was coming. All these things that you see take place right now, God told us that they were coming. And as you read the Song of Moses, you begin to understand what he was talking about. But this is exactly one of the reasons God sent prophets, isn't it? Look at this in Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 9, and just let me read it for you. Behold, the former things have come to pass, and new things I now declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Why? Why does God tell us what's going to happen before it actually happens? Well, it's for your faith so that you believe. It's for a warning so that you don't go there. And it's also, in this case, it's a witness. I told you this would happen. The predictive aspect of the song as a witness. There's also an accusative aspect here. Because this witness, standing on the stand, pointing the finger at Israel, you are in the wrong. God has forsaken you. You stand condemned. This accusation of sin pricks the heart, and it breaks down the calloused, hard heart to reveal a tender, moldable heart. When you think about the confrontation that takes place in 2 Samuel chapter 12, Nathan comes to David after his sin with Bathsheba. And it boils down to the point after this parable of the lamb, it boils down to the point where Nathan looks David in the eye and he says, you are the man. You think he said it with tears rolling down his eyes? Do you think he said it maybe 2 or 3 times because he couldn't get it out? The Song of Moses stands to accuse the people of Israel of sin that has yet to be committed. So that when they do commit the sin, it will prick them. This is the Holy Spirit working. It's going to crush their spirit and bring them back. there's also another aspect, at least in my mind. It's a confirmation that the Song of Moses, because it talks about, and we sing about, how God hasn't given up yet. All these things, and you go back to 16 through 18. Moses is going to die. They're going to forsake me. I'm going to be angry. I'm going to forsake them. This evil is going to come, and then they're going to come back. The whole point is to remember God and to come back to God. The whole point of the Song of Moses is to remind the people of Israel, stay close to God. It's a confirmation when bad things, these evils happen. God's waiting. It's a confirmation that God is still watching, that God is still up there waiting for you. He hasn't forgotten. I told you so. You're wrong. Won't you come back? That's the Song of Moses. I can't think, and David didn't plan this, but I can't think of a better song or series of songs than the Near melody. The Song of Moses, in my mind, is a plea from God that the people of God stay close to God. Don't wander off. Stay near to God. So when we stand, if we stay near to God, if we follow and allow the Song of Moses to work in our life, when we stand on the banks of the Jordan River, that we can go over to the other side, that we can cross into that promised land, the land of heaven. If you're not on your way over there and you need to get back on the right path, the invitation is for you. Won't you come as we stand and sing?